Yeah, I'm running because there's a lot of people out there that was asking for true leadership to emerge.
A new Republican challenger is taking on incumbent Representative Beyer in Virginia. Tony Sabio bills himself as a battle-tested patriot instead of a career politician in the fight for Virginia's 8th Congressional District. The Puerto Rican native comes from a U.S. military, Secret Service, and CIA background. Settling in Northern Virginia after his time in the Marines, he now wants to serve in another way. His focus in Congress will be on the economy, national security, and public defense.
I want to put people before the politics. I want country first before politics.
Virginia's 8th district covers Alexandria, Arlington, Falls Church, and eastern parts of Fairfax County. I asked Sabio about Arlington County recently ending its police department's ability to cooperate with ICE in local arrests. Sabio pledged when he's in office, law enforcement will be working with ICE and Tom Homan, President Donald Trump's border czar.
We're going to make sure that the board of supervisors are held accountable. We're going to find the criminals, we're going to pull them out. I can tell you right now, working with law enforcement, in the Secret Service, also in the agency, we have MS-13. We have many other gangs that are sitting right here in this area. And you know what? We just found a leader from Trinidad Alagua sitting right here in Northern Virginia. We're able to catch him, deport him.
When it comes to the economy, Sabio exclusively broke down 3 top issues to Washington Examiner during the Road to Majority conference. First, he wants to help Northern Virginians accomplish the American dream of owning a home. He wants to also create incentives for medical personnel, law enforcement, and the fire department to live in their county.
They're having to work in certain areas and then travel about 2 hours in traffic just so they can live. So I want housing to be reduced down for them. I want to work with the governor's office to create incentives for that. I also want to have builders come in, build more affordable housing, see what we could do working with HUD as far as creating opportunities. But we got to do it smart. First, we got to create jobs. Once we create the jobs, then we need to go ahead and look in our communities and start rebuilding those communities.
The second way Sabio wants to improve Virginia's economy is by bringing back industries. He wants to put a stop to companies pledging to go to different states.
I'm going to work hard to look at the national defense industries, such as medical supplies, chips, and make sure that comes over here. We start working to help out the federal workers that were laid off, now find real, true jobs that strengthen national defense.
Third, Sabio wants to help continue to implement Trump's economic policies in his district.
Donald Trump has built our economy, and we have a midterms coming up, and the Democrats, especially Don Beyer, if you follow him, is hell-bent on destroying everything that Donald Trump has put together.
The Republican says the record of his Democratic counterpart is what inspired him to run.
Don Beyer, sorry to say, is a used car salesman. He's been disgraced for Northern Virginia, and actually disgrace for the whole country. He does partisan politics, and all he cares is about special interests.
As a father, he places a high priority on education and keeping children safe. He made an unsuccessful run for a Fairfax County school board seat back in 2023. When it comes to how he can continue his passion to help children while in Congress, Sabio told Washington Examiner school choice is a solution for school safety and funding problems.
We need to start taking this politics out of the schools. Now, the biggest thing is they don't listen. I ran in Fairfax County and Northern Virginia. You can see it all the way through Loudoun County. The schools just don't care, but they care when they start being hit by the pocketbook. And so as taxpayers, they work for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to push a big incentive for school choice.
The battle over locker room access, school sports, and transgender ideology is a contentious one in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Even though Youngkin and Trump have enacted executive orders to keep girls safe in the most private of places, men claiming to be women are still allowed in school locker rooms. Most recently, a biological male, who was also a registered sex offender, was arrested on charges of exposing himself to young girls in the Washington Liberty High School locker room. Despite several parents complaining, Richard Cox was allowed to access the female pooled locker room during swim classes because he claimed to be a woman. Cox was finally arrested months later when he was caught allegedly sexually assaulting a young girl. The 58-year-old is currently in jail on 28 charges, ranging from indecent exposure to indecent liberties with a minor. Sabio wants to stop this from ever happening again.
And any additional incentives from the federal government that's coming in will be cut. If you are not giving what the parents want, if you're not protecting the females with school, at the bathrooms, with sports, then no more funding for you.
But Sabio isn't doing it alone. Governor Glenn Youngkin is helping the first-time candidate with his campaign. The duo met together after Virginia's Republican governor gave a speech at the Faith and Freedom Coalition's Road to Majority conference in Washington, D.C.
Well, I'm very excited. The governor's office reached out to us. They're very excited that somebody's coming in 18 months before the actual election and really putting a real campaign together. And what we're going to talk about is ways where we could work together, talk about the real issues that are happening, and then really look at the next governor that's coming in, which will be Governor Sears.
Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears is currently running for the governorship, as Youngkin cannot run for 2 consecutive terms due to Virginia law. Sabio believes the Commonwealth will get behind Sears, and he looks forward to working with her.
Sears is actually, she's a Marine. And so I come from the Marine Corps as a hospital corpsman, so we have a lot in common right there. And these are the things that we want to bring together, more of a servant leadership.
For the Republican primary, Sabio will compete against Herrick Christian Kim, who has unsuccessfully run for the seat in the last 4 elections. The primary date has yet to be set. I'm Amy Delora for Washington Examiner.